guys, it's Jeff from UFO. We're going to do a little bit of a brake upgrade here. I'm going to pull this wheel off and then I'll bring you guys over to the bench and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so we lost this. And we lost one. Okay, so let me pull this off. Here's the one we lost. Okay. Alright guys, we got our wheel off. We're going to do the brake upgrade. So I'm going to show you guys what we got here right now. It's just the regular single piston factory stuff. Let me pull you off of here. I'll tell you what we're going to do here. So here we go with the factory stuff. It's a single piston brake. You know, the top ball joint, lower ball joint. Oh, the wheel's locked. Of course it is. Okay, so what we're going to end up doing, and I'll show you, is right in there, right here where my finger is, there's a nut with a, it should have a cotter pin in it. I'm guessing it does, we just can't see it. And there's one on the bottom, same thing. So we're going to get rid of this whole setup. We're going to break it at that ball joint, we're going to break it at the lower ball joint, get rid of the tie rod, and we'll take that off, and then we'll do the brake line, which is right here. We'll get rid of the brake line. And this is what we're going to go to. So this is the disc brake setup off of, I believe it's 98 to 02 Blazer. It's a dual piston caliper. Like this one, I mean, we're going super cheap on this one. I mean, that line looks new enough for me. I'm going to run it. I ain't even putting new pads in this yet. I mean, maybe we'll clean that dirt off. We'll knock the dirt off. But other than that, this thing's going to kind of go the way it is. So this is a good alternative instead of going to like aerospace brakes or Bear or whatever. So I bought both setups like this with the knuckle and everything. It's supposed to be a direct fit for I think $107 or something. So I got the caliper, everything. We got, so this does have a unit bearing. I'm not really crazy about the unit bearing, but it does give us stuff for later. So let me lay this down. Moving you guys all over. Sorry about that. So this has the unit bearing, the 3-bolt. You just throw it away. Here's your 3 bolts. But it does have a speed sensor, which don't butcher these. If you guys go and grab these, try to keep that line intact. I mean, who knows if the thing's good in the wheel bearing anyway, but this here you can use if you're running something else for for traction control. Like the Holly can run this wire for traction control. I don't know how good it works, but I haven't done it. But I see people doing it, and it's kind of nice to have that option. These are unserviceable, so if that bearing goes bad, you throw it away. At least, you know, like the original ones, you can, you know, always take them apart, repack them. I mean, the bearings do go bad, but at least it's like serviceable. This is not serviceable. But for the price of those bearings now, they're relatively inexpensive. They come with the wire and so all the shit you need. So, like, this is the way to go. And we're gonna slap this sucker right on there. And this is supposed to be like a huge brake upgrade for little to no money. I mean, $107. I mean, and I'm going wicked cheap. I'm not even going to put pads or nothing in this. We're going to see how it is, and then you know, if we have a sticky caliper, I'll throw a caliper on it. I'm trying to get this whole car together and running so I can just drive it for a little while I build something else, and then I want to bring this car in and actually kind of do like pull the frame and box it and paint the underneath, because this is a pretty nice car. I kind of want to keep it around forever, so I want to get it going so I can enjoy it. I'll build something else. When that's built, I'll pull this in and you know, go through this. In theory, probably never happen. I'll probably just end up beating the daylights out of it, but you know, it's nice to dream, I guess, and have but we'll have a nice disc brake upgrade in the front, so that's going to be good. So we're going to do that, and then I'll set you guys up on the stand, and I'll get those cotter pins out of, so that's where your ball joint nut is, and then your top ball joint and tie rod end, of course. But I'll get those. I'll fight those cotter pins, get them out, and when I'm ready to knock this thing apart, I'll bring you guys over and I'll show you. Alright guys, we're going to get rid of this tie rod end first. We'll just come in here. We took out the cotter pins. So I have them over here. There's a couple of them right here. There's all three of the original, cotter pins from the car. Put those on eBay. Maybe an Oldsmobile purist will want them. But we're going to whip this off. Hopefully, yeah, see that came off? So it sucks when they spin out. Like if that thing spins out, it does make it easier to come off. But yep. Okay, and then what we do after that, I don't like putting the separators in there. Like a tie rod fork or a pickle fork or whatever people call them. I just do them like this, and then I'll take, this is part of my engineering team, and then we'll just engineer this until it falls out. So that way there, because if you run the fork in there, it's gonna jock this rubber. It's still kind of tight. We really need to go through this whole thing. But all right, guys, I'm gonna whip off this nut. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? You can't see that. Move you around a little bit. See if we can get the light better. Okay, so we're gonna go after this nut, which is the upper ball joint, and then we're gonna go after the lower ball joint also. You don't really want to whip all these all the way off. If it goes that way, it goes that way, but I mean, normally they're stuck in there pretty good. You want to, you know, get these nuts off. I have bad back, so probably shouldn't be doing anything at like chest height. Take these off. I'll take them off, put it down on the ground lower, put a jack stand under it, but I can't take all that much bending. So I try to do as much as I can upright. All right, what do we got here first? We got this one. We got this one. All right. So then we'll zip that nut off, well, most of the way off. Or we'll zip it off and then put it back on. Whatever comes first. Okay. And then I'll usually like make sure it's got enough threads caught where I can whip on it. And I'll whip on this one first. Because if you knock this one loose first, then the weight of this is sitting. It's better to have the weight like hanging if you can. The shock might be stopping it, so I don't know yet, but we'll see. Because if there's nothing hanging on here, there's nothing really, no weight to make, you know, like gravity will pull it down and make it separate for you. But if there's nothing, then it's nothing, you know. Then you kind of have to drive a fork in there and you're going to ruin that boot. Make sure you got enough thread. Okay, so we know that one's going to be loose, so I'm going to put that back up a little bit so we don't break that one by accident. I don't want to knock the top one loose before the bottom. So we'll just put that up there like so. And then if you just whip on this. See how that popped? But the nut, don't do this at chest height. I'm doing this like totally wrong. So now that's loose and ready to go. So when I put this down on a jack stand, that'll be like ready to go. And then what we'll do is we'll loosen the top one. And we'll do the same thing. But I mean, you know, if the threads were bad or not, that could have blown right off of there, and who knows. I mean, the shock is in it, so the thing really can't come out and like, you know, whatever, but it's just not safe. It's not a good way to do it. So we're going to turn this for a second. I don't know if you can see that rotors. See how nice and black that rotors are? Look at that, huh? We put some heat on those bad boys. Hopefully we'll avoid that with the this brake upgrade. Okay. I'm going to whip on this one. I got to move you guys out of the way. So I'm going to pause you. Once I get this ready to come off, I'll bring you back. Okay, guys. So we whipped on that top one. I'll show it to you, I guess. Pull you off the stand. So now see how that ball joint's separated. So we're good there. And then this one here is also separated. The lower one. And now I'm going to, I'll set this down on the ground. So it's a lot safer. So I can get a jack stand under there. I can kind of control what's going on a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. Alright guys, we're going to lower the car down and get on that stand. And then we'll push this up. It'll take the pressure off the ball joint nuts, the upper and lower. Then we can whip that spindle out of there. Okay, that should do it. Make sure your stand's like in a good spot, like where it ain't gonna whip off of there. Seems pretty good. And bring our tools down. Get a little chair on the seat on the bucket. We got our light. Torch down. I think that's everything we need, guys. Alright. Alright, I don't know what you guys can see or can't see. So, guess I'll move you guys around a little. See what you can see. Alright. Keep you up. And pause you for a minute. Okay. So now we can just pull this off. Pull our castle nut off. Top and bottom. Okay. Alright, so this is ready to go now. Oh, I forgot our brake line. I'll show you how I do the brake lines too. I guess we'll so I'll move you guys around a little bit more. Keep moving you guys all over the place. Alright. Hopefully we can occupy the same space. Alright. There's that brake line. So these are original lines. I like to try to keep them like as nice as I can. I don't like to, you know, if you put vice grips on there, yes, it'll work. You know, I'll probably take it off, and we might end up doing that, I don't know. But, how I normally do these is I just take my torch and just put a little bit on the line. Just a little, don't heat the crap out of this because you can explode that rubber. So I just put a little bit on that. That's probably good enough. I take engineering, tap the line, hopefully it breaks it loose where the tube nut goes, because that's where they get stuck in there. They get stuck inside the tube nut. And then, I should have a line wrench, but I couldn't find it, and it's probably all stretched out anyway. So, and then I just whack the end of it. And we either just rounded that off or it's, nope, we're coming loose. So that's how I do those. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. If you start heating the crap out of it, we'll blow the end of that line up. Now that thing's so hot we can't touch it. I have to go get a glove. Haha, there we go. Alright. Then we'll take our screwdriver and pry that clip off of there. There's a clip right here. I don't know if you guys can really see it. Yeah, I guess you can. there's our clip. That's probably still hot, so we'll just put that up there. And then this line should wiggle out. And then all we gotta do is lift up on the upper A-arm. Okay, just like that. So there's our upper A-arm. And then this should lift off the bottom as an assembly. Let's get off. I think we're getting hung up on the dust shroud. Okay. Alright, so there's the whole assembly out now. Let me move you guys around a little bit. So there's our whole assembly. So we didn't wreck the boot. In pretty good shape. They're a little wobbly. They ain't really loose yet, but they ain't tight either, you know what I mean? So they should be stiffer than that. Yeah, they should be stiffer than that. So then we're just going to put in the other one. We'll drop that whole knuckle in. Let me go get that thing set up and I'll pause you guys. Alright guys, here we go. I'm going to grab that and throw it in there. Okay, so we'll come in with a spindle. And we'll set this sucker right on that lower ball joint, hopefully. Where are you? There we go. Alright, so we got the lower on. We'll take the bigger nut of the two. And you don't have to tighten this like right now either, just get it started. I try to point all my cotter pins forward. Just so I can, I don't know if it really makes any difference, but it's easier to bend them when they're, you know, not jammed up into the back of this or some weird spot. Okay, we'll push this in here. Jam that down in there. And then we'll put this other one on. And I just zip these up with the gun for the most part, like not tight, but I'll zip them up, you know, pretty decent. And then I'll fine tune them with like a wrench. So it's, so I can line up that cotter key and everything. Good enough. We'll switch out sockets. And then I just, you know, hit them with a wrench, line them up, put the cotter pins in. Oh, I did that with the wrong size. Okay. Good enough. Alright, so that's that. And then our tie rod will go back on, which is right here. Can you see all that? I think you can. Yeah, they're not real loose, but they should have a little bit more drag than what they are, but we'll grease them up. It'll be good enough for now. Okay, now, if you guys have trouble with the, like tightening one of these, you know, sometimes, like if this thread isn't that great, if the thread here isn't great, it'll start to go down, then it spins, the whole shaft spins. If you run into a whole bunch of that, you can put something down on the floor and lower it down so this has a little bit of pressure on it, and then it won't spin out on you. See, like that. There we go, we got it. And we'll line them up later. So there's our whole brake upgrade, guys, all set. We'll hook the brake line up, and that goes right back in the factory bracket. I don't know if I like the factory bracket, but we'll see. We're gonna do something with brake lines. The other side, I don't like the rubber line. This one's kind of new, so that's cool, but the other one's not so new. So I think we'll replace that line. And we got a master cylinder coming. And this is the whole upgrade for the front. I did get everything for the back of that Blazer, because I was going to put it all right on the 10 bolt that was in here, because this had an 8.5 10 bolt. But I ended up going 9-inch. So now I have Ford Explorer rear disc brakes. But, you know, either way, it is what it is. But I'll show you and we're going to run an 04, I think it's 02 to 06 actually, or 02 to 05. Trailblazer master cylinder. It's the closest one in the bore diameter that's correct. If you go to the newer one, it's like an 1 5/8 bore diameter. It's going to make the brakes really manual, even with a power brake booster. So you kind of want to stay close to what the thing had factory. This had a 15/16. We're going to 1-inch bore on the master. The smaller the bore, it's more of a manual with no power assist. So the smaller the bore, you wouldn't have a power brake booster. The bigger the bore, you need a power brake booster. That's how I understand that works. I don't know if that's always the case, but every time I do those, I try to match them close to what the factory was, because I don't want to keep guessing. You know, you don't want brakes that are so touchy they throw you through the windshield, but you don't want to have to be standing on a power brake either. You know, because it's because the cylinders are all sized wrong. But I'll run you guys up and I'll show you a little bit of the braking system so far. Alright guys, here we go again. So here's our setup now. So there's our upper ball joint's on, the lower ball joint's on, tie rod's on, everything's on. So we're gonna put, we'll put cotter pins and all that. And now we're right back to where we started, but now we have a dual piston caliper. And then I'll just show you we'll hook up the brake line. So that's kind of, whatever. That ain't no big deal there. So we got a brake line. We have our speed sensor. I'll get that zip tied up there somewhere where it can live. And we'll go from there. So that's this side. We'll get that dirt cleaned off. Or we'll just let it grind into the rotor. Here's the other side. So this side's all done too. We're all buttoned up. Tie rods. Top ball joints, all good. Here's our brake line. I'm going to replace that line. That one's not very new looking. It's not like that other one. And then we did, right here, we did a proportioning valve. So that's the four-wheel disc brake proportioning valve. But that's the direct fit one for GM. I didn't have to cut any lines anywhere. That thing just fits right in there. Fits right in there perfect. So that was nice. So that gets us there. I'm waiting on the master still. And then this is our rear brake setup now. So this is the Ford Explorer stuff. We did hoses, we made our own lines all the way up. Over to here to the other soft line. So we have everything made up. Everything looks good. So that's your cheap, very inexpensive brake upgrade for the G body. Is I believe it's 98 to 02 Blazer 2-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive one's different because of the half shafts and all that garbage in the front, but grab those rear ones too. Here's the rears. This is the rear disc brakes off that Blazer, and this backing plate supposedly fits on the 10 bolts. I don't know if it's true or not, but and then everything's supposed to work. I didn't keep the 10, so I don't know, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I might use that on my Pontiac, because I have a Pontiac over there with a 10 bolt in it. But anyway, guys, that's it for this one. We'll see how good those dual pistons do. And then maybe later on we'll upgrade to some decent pads and some drilled and you know, whatever rotors, you know, the ones with the little cuts and all that stuff in them and drilled. We'll see how it goes, you know. All right, guys, like, share, subscribe. See ya.